Welcome back to my chatty ramble. My guest today is the awesome Nicola Brettell-Smith. For those of you that have seen Dragon Thunder, you will know that Nicola was on Dragon Thunder last year, which is where I thought we first met at Dragon Thunder, but you think we met somewhere else, don't you, Nicola, before that? Okay,
Yes.
right. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to hand you over to Nicola, and then we're going to just ramble as we do. Nicola, thank you so much for joining me, and welcome to the Chatty Ramble podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me. Yes, no, we sort of met at the Dragon Thunder, but we didn't actually properly meet. So, yes, I think for those of me that know me from Dragon Thunder, they will know my sort of story of how I ended up there, where the dragon said to me to channel these messages of wisdom, inspiration for 30 days with no attachment to the outcome, which is exactly what I did. And then at the end of them, I saw the summit advert from Kevin Humphreys, who is the sort of founder, host of it, the one who started it at the beginning. And I sent him a message thinking he's going to think I'm absolutely crazy, saying that the dragons have sent me here. And he just said, no, it's, that's exactly what his dragon said to him. They said, I'm going to have a summit, and just before it starts, we're going to have 1,000 registrants and we'll have 50 people speaking, and that he didn't need to find the speakers, that they would come to him. And that's exactly what happened, because the day before, I think we had 999 registrants, and he also had 50 speakers, which was excellent. So yeah,
Wow.
so that made me feel a little bit more confident that I wasn't, quite so crazy as we sometimes do when the dragons are asking us to do things. So yes, but so obviously I saw that you were doing it, and as I've kind of said before, I aspire and look up to you and so on. So it's like, ooh, who am I to be, speaking at an event about dragons, when obviously, you're the original dragon lady that
Oh my God.
knows all about them. Yeah, it was a big sort of, getting over a big fear for me to sort of put myself out there and speak, which of course is what dragons are often about, is us, embracing our fears and feeling more empowered to do something and level up. So with the dragons, with me, I would often dream about a place, and I'll see the dragons there, and it's like I've got to just get up in the morning and go there. And this is something that I did. I ended up in Avebury, and that's where I met you, because the dragons had said to me, "Get up, go to Avebury," and I didn't exactly know why, but I did know that you were there, and I kind of thought in my head, "Oh well, if there's no one there with you, then I'm obviously meant to see you." So, and there wasn't anyone with you at that point that I'd arrived, so that's when I sat down with you and introduced
Oh
myself.
yes.
So, yeah, and kind of told you the whole story as well, of how I'd already met you a few years back, and that the dragons had told me that I wasn't allowed to come and speak to you at that point. And I know now a lot of that is because of what you channeled in your book. Was very some of it was, there were similarities, and had I read it from you, I wouldn't have believed that, that I'd heard it from the dragons, if that makes sense. So
Ah,
I think it was to do with that.
now that's, was it at the Lighthouse Festival
Yeah,
in 2022 or 2023?
I think it was was it 2021 even? I feel like it was
No,
just
when's the
after
book? When did my
lockdown.
book launch? I think
Yeah.
the book came out in 2022.
You didn't have your books, you had your cards
Oh,
there.
would have had, okay. So it might have been the middle
Mm.
of, might have been the sort of pre-launch of the book then.
Yeah, I don't think you had the book then, because when you
Mm,
did have the book come out, which was after that,
mm,
uh, that's when there was a competition run by your publisher, Watkins, and
okay.
the competition was just share the post, and you could potentially win your deck of cards and your book. And it was like, as soon as I shared it, it was like, oh, that's mine. I just knew it for the first time. It's like, I know that book's coming to me, and it did. And I got your book, and I got your I also got your deck of cards. So I was like, oh, I can read it now. The dragons are saying, yeah, I can read it. And yeah, I was just sort of like, yeah, wow. Because there were just so many bits that were similarities, not all of it, obviously. But yeah.
And isn't that interesting? Because so many people, I'm sort of talking to so many people at the moment, obviously for the podcast, and we've all come at it from different angles, but there's so many similarities of the way the dragons work and how they teach us and work with us. And obviously we're all very different. We've all got very different skill sets. But it's quite incredible to have that confirmation, isn't it? That, because when I started, there was nobody doing this work. There was nobody on the planet working with dragons the way that I did. That there were I know now, there were the sort of the druidic-y, draconic, magician-y type people,
Hmm.
and that were following the dragon path from a druidic, that field. But they weren't on my radar. And there's absolutely nobody on the planet talking about dragons and working with the dragons the way that I was bringing them through. And of course, now we had 50 speakers at Dragon Thunder. So that's in 20 years. There's 50 people that I've now got potential connection with. We're doing it again this year. Have we got 50 speakers again this year at Dragon Thunder? Do you know?
I think there's more, isn't there? Because there's the slots for 50 speakers, because it's going to be 8 hours in Australia first, 8 hours in London, 8 hours in New York, isn't there? 2 hosts in each. And then I'm pretty sure there'll be more, because those slots are all filled, but then there's more speakers that can record their videos as well. So there'll be quite a lot on there, I think, this year, even more so.
Wow. And
Yeah,
is it the 21st? Is it the 21st of July?
I think so. I think
I
that's
think
what
it
we
is.
said.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Um,
and it is free, isn't it, as well?
this one, there might be a small charge, actually. I feel like it might have been something like £8 maybe, or
Okay.
a donation. I think it might have been a level thing, purely because obviously I think for Kevin, he's hosting it on his site, and that does cost him to maintain it and so on, and to give people access and all of the time, etc. So
And he's
but
also had
it has been free.
all the admin to do behind that,
Yes.
collating all of us as speakers.
Yes, and he does a
And
very good job of
well,
it.
you and I produce courses. We know how long it takes to produce a course, get it written, promote it, all that.
Yeah,
There's hours and hours of work to do one course.
that's right. Yes.
Without herding
Or
cats
years in my case.
for 50 plus speakers across multiple time zones.
Yes.
I do know what, if he's charging more than a 10, a 15, 20, 30 quid
Yeah,
for it, my
it's
God,
not that much. It's really small amount for, yeah, for
what you
what you
get.
get as well, or what you get access to. It's a lot. And he gives a lot of free stuff away as well in amongst that. So
He does. He's
different
phenomenal,
journeys and meeting
actually.
your dragons and so on. So yeah. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's great that he's doing this.
Do you actually know, I know you're hosting the UK, the Europe UK end this year, aren't you,
Yeah.
with Kev?
Yes.
Are you actually going to do a talk as well?
So I'm not doing a talk during that time. And I think it's because, so Barbara was like the original host last year, and she's hosting the New York end again this year. And she said that it was quite exhausting to speak and to be on for that, because you're on for the full 8 hours, introducing people. So to then have a slot and speak, I think I think it's easier not to. So your focus is holding the energy and, bringing people on. Because I remember I watched the entire thing for the 8 hours, and I was there and I felt really high on all the energy because it was just fantastic. But yeah, so I won't be speaking, but I will be recording a video. And I don't know what yet, because the dragons haven't said.
That was going to be my next question, what you're going to talk about, because I haven't got a bloody clue.
No.
It's like, please give me a clue. We're now end of February 2024. This is in middle of July this year, so we've not got
Yeah.
long.
And there's a possibility. I mean, if Kevin's predicted it right, like he did last year, his dragons said 1,000 people. This year, they've said 5,000 people they're aiming for. And I know there's over 2,500 people in the Dragon Thunder group. So there's a very possibility, because not everyone's on Facebook, are they? So that's a big possibility he's going to make it. And there's lots of people joining the group every day. So, because I'm an admin on that, so I'm watching them come in. It's like, whoa. So yeah. But like you, I don't know, I just think the dragons, they'll let us know probably 2 or 3 days before, maybe. or maybe in the moment. I'm getting used to it now.
Yeah, it could just be a live channeling, couldn't it?
True.
And
Yes.
it'll just be whatever it is.
Yes.
Okay, anyway, so we've done a
I
really
mean,
good
the theme
promo on
is
Dragon
galactic
Thunder.
dragons, isn't it? The theme is galactic. So, yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Now I know what I'm talking about. I
There we are.
forgot the
See?
fact it was
Just like
galactic.
that.
Okay, now I know what I'm talking about. Thank you. So we've done a really good promo on Cave and Dragon Thunder, and
Yes.
people are probably sick of hearing about it. Before we came on, we were talking about Durdledor.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So now, if you look at Durdledor from one angle and the sun comes through it, oh my God, the Jurassic coast. So anybody that's not in the UK, Durdledor is on the southwest coast of Britain. It's in Dorset, isn't it?
Yes.
And there's this chunk of rock that goes out into the sea, and it's a doorway. And at certain points of the year, you can get the sun coming through it, and it's, oh my God, the photographs are stunning. However, if you look at it from a slightly different angle, it's the drinking dragon.
Yeah.
My husband says we've been to Durdledor. He says we went years ago. Sure, about Durdledor years ago. I don't remember going to Durdledor. So we are going to Durdledor this year. But you've been a few times and just around the coast, haven't you? So what did you experience at Durdledor? Tell me about Durdledor and the other places
Yes.
you went.
So I've been wanting to go to Durdle probably 3 or 4 years now, actually, and I've been a bit slow about getting there because the dragons have had this pull, go there, go there, go there, but I didn't again know why. Because like you, I have been there, and I do remember being there because it's only about 30 miles from me, so we do often go there and walk over when they're for school trips even, but I only ever saw it as a door. And it's only been this year that someone posted a photo of it at a slightly different angle, and that's when I could see it was a drinking dragon. And actually, locally, it is just called the Drinking Dragon. It's never been called Durdledor. So it was like, oh, okay. And so I woke up one morning, it was like, right, today you've got to go. So off I went, trundled down. I think it was the Imbolc, was it? No, not Imbolc. No, hang on. Whichever last one we just had.
Imbolc.
Yeah, it was
February.
It was that morning.
February.
Actually, it was that timing because that's when they often come in, the dragons, don't they, at these times. So yeah, so I just got up and I went there and I just sat with the dragon and meditated and brought a message in, and it was like the dragon wanted to be known as a dragon, that it doesn't want to be called Durdledor anymore. It wanted to be known that it's a dragon. It's like it feels, or the dragons themselves feel safe to be here now. It's like our consciousness is awakening enough, and more of us are connecting with dragons that now it feels, the dragons feel safe to say that they are here, and that we can start seeing them within the rocks and within the clouds like we do, but more of us can be conscious of it if it's just known as the drinking dragon. But it's not the only drinking dragon, because
Hold on just a sec.
So yes, it's not the only drinking dragon. When I was in the Isle of Man earlier on last year, back in the summer, again, it was the second time I'd been there, but the first time I went there I wasn't aware really of dragons as such. So last year when I went there, I was meditating and I was asking if there was anywhere specific on the island that I needed to go, and the information that came through was just find the drinking dragon. And I was like, oh, I didn't know there was a drinking dragon here. Anyway, it turns out there is a drinking dragon on the Isle of Man as well, but again, you can only see it from the angle if you take a boat out to sea. But I still managed to go somewhere near it and connect. I was told to go to a stone circle that was overlooking the drinking dragon. And I had one of my little dragon heads with me as well. So I took that everywhere around the Isle of Man with me in these little places. And I went to the stone circle, sat in there, meditated. And yeah, I was shown all this light technology of Lemuria and Atlantis, and how it's almost like it's a fluid columns of energy, I guess, that come down as a way of healing. but it was all run by quartz crystal. And of course, this stone circle, which I later found out, there's a lot of natural quartz on the island, on the Isle of Man, and that's what these stone circles were predominantly made out of. You know, they were quartz within the stone itself. So yeah, so I was getting all this information, and now, so that's now 2 drinking dragons in the British Isles, and now I'm starting to question, well, are there any more drinking dragons? And I feel like going on a quest to see if there's any more drinking dragons around the world and to go and find them all. So
Oh my God.
just a
Well, if
little
any of
thing. There might
our
not be, but
listeners, yeah, if any of our listeners or followers know, please comment, get in touch, because
I want to
Nicola's on a mission. In
yes,
his global trip to find the drinking dragons. How
yeah,
awesome.
that would be fun,
Wow.
wouldn't it?
So, right, the Isle of Man. I've never been there. All I know is it's got 3 wonky legs.
Yes.
Whenever I see the Isle of Man, I think 3 wonky legs.
Yes, that's right.
Can you do that as a day trip?
Possibly.
Because
Well,
it's a
yeah, it's
flight.
only
Is it flight or boat to the Isle of
20-minute
Man?
flights from Bournemouth, or you used to be able to go to Southampton. The problem is you can't go direct anymore. Or you can from Bristol. But I think that's it. From Bournemouth, you have to stop at Manchester and wait an hour and then go off again. So it'd be a bit hard to do a day trip.
Okay.
And if you go across the water, I think it's a few hours and it's quite choppy because you've got to go across the Irish Sea from Liverpool, I think.
Okay.
But,
I now
so
need to go to the Isle of Man because I had no idea there's a stone circle or a drinking dragon on the Isle of Man. Right.
there's lots of stone circles and a fairy bridge, of course, that you have to say hello to the fairies. But they're not like the fairies that we have here, perhaps in the New Forest, that are a bit more gentle and, you know, nice. They're different. They're called the little people, actually. That's what they call them. You
That's
have to say hello and you know, and be quite respectful and leave gifts. And I think because the Isle of Man is very mixed with some Scottish heritage and Irish and English, so we've got a lot of the different mythologies. And Norway is it as well, so you've got the Vikings as well. So they have a big mix of, they're right in the center, aren't they, of the
I've got to be honest, I don't know a lot about the faith folk. However, I am going to be interviewing and talking to Karen Kay, the fairy and mermaid whisperer, in a future podcast. It's Tuesday. I think she's scheduled in for some time later this week. So I shall talk to her about fairies in the Isle of Man.
Yes, do. I'm still learning about it, but my mum has got a friend who, her best friend, she was born on the island, so she knows a lot of the wisdom and the stories. So yeah, I came back with a few mythology books to try to understand it a bit better. So, but the 3 legs are a different way of showing. I think the Celtic is very Celtic as well, so it's a different way of showing the symbol of the 3. The spiral.
The Triscally, the 3 spirals.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, it's a different way of showing that, I think.
Oh, is that what it's about? Is this it's a version of the Triscally?
Yes, I think so. I might have that wrong, so your friend might know more about it, but I think so. When I was starting to try and research it a little bit, yeah.
Who knew? Wow. So what's coming up for you this year then? So obviously the big one is Dragon Thunder, the Galactic Dragon Thunder Summit 2024.
Yes.
What else is coming up for you this year?
So this year is finally, I think it's going to be birthed, because it's definitely been, I don't know, well, it feels like since I've been, you know, interacting with dragons 5 years, but it isn't really. It's just been a couple of years, and it was meant to be this intuitive dragon medicine where there's certain channelings, meditations, activations from the dragons and transmissions that cleanse those chakras to help you be a clearer channel to access your psychic and intuitive abilities. So it is still that, but it's kind of extended into the Shamanic Dragon Priestess. So it's about you still accessing all of those centers, but as a woman, you're also bringing in the archetypes of the 13 feminine archetypes. So there's 13 dragons, 13 feminine archetypes, and of course 13 is the divine feminine. So it's bringing all of that into it, the tree wisdom. I do shamanism anyway, so it makes sense to bring the journeying and all of that wisdom into it, alongside the dragon. So it's a combination of all sorts of things, really. And to be honest, it's you I have to thank to finally kind of getting it out there, because if I hadn't had your bit of mentoring that we did earlier, that you're now kind of stepping into, I don't think I'd have got as far along with it, because that self-doubt keeps coming in.
You're most welcome for the mentoring. That really isn't a problem. So what is your course called?
So it's the Shamanic Dragon Priestess course.
And have you got a start date for it?
So it's the 6th of March that the registration opens, but we won't be starting officially. There'll be some introductory things to do to prepare, but we don't officially start until the spring equinox. Date is yet to be confirmed, but there'll be a live ceremony to, opening ceremony to step into that new energy of the element of the air as well. So and you can join it for it's a year-long course, but you could potentially join at 4 quarters throughout the year of the spring equinox, of the equinoxes and the solstice. But again, that's yet to be confirmed, but for now it's just opening in the spring equinox.
Fabulous. How very wonderful. Now, I thought I saw a post from you, this would have been last year, and you went searching for dragons at castles. Am I right?
Castles. I'm trying to think, where did I go?
Did you go to a castle? You went somewhere, I'm sure it was you. Was it Wales?
No, I haven't been to Wales yet. I did go to Tintagel. I went all around the coast of Cornwall last year. Went to Tintagel, went to the I'm calling it the Dragon Sanctuary because that's what they called it, but it's St Nectan's Glen. I went there as well. I went, as I was just leaving Tintagel. I didn't even know St Nectan's Glen existed, and as I was passing through this shop, they had this big dragon in the window, so I popped in to have a look, and the lady kind of we started talking all about dragons, and then she pulled out this map from underneath her counter as though it was like a secret place, and then she showed me on the map where it was. She was like, oh, if you're into dragons you have to go here, but we don't tell too many people about this place. So but I think it's got like the third to Glastonbury, which is all about the sacred waters, isn't it? We've got the red and the white spring, and obviously the red and the white dragon as well. I think it's the third sacred springs or site for the sacred waters at St Nectan's Glen. So yeah, it was very, very lovely there, and lots of dragon energy, definitely. I know you've been there yourself. And it's just
I was there. I was there I was there just before Samhain last year. We were on retreat there. It was incredible.
Yeah,
it was an absolutely awesome 3 days, actually.
yeah,
St Nectan's Glen. So there's another retreat coming up this year, but not at St Nectan's this year. It's in just outside Wantage near Oxford, and it's 5 days this year.
Ooh, I'm tempted.
Actually, this is a bit special because I have I've got a shamanic breathwork practitioner coming in from America to work with me as well, and so we've called it Ignite Your Fire and Align with Your Heart. So it's going to be a really powerful 5 days. It's Monday to Friday.
Brilliant.
And the building, there's actually parts of the building actually 1,000 years old. So it's all going towards 1,000-year-old building. It's a series of cottages with conference. It is a retreat and conference centre. It's a Quaker house. So you've got that whole energy of that quiet and calm, and it's just absolutely stonking. So I'm really looking
Very
forward to
tempted.
doing.
I keep seeing it pop up, and I'm like, oh.
Well, places are selling really, really quickly.
Okay.
It's so it launched middle of last week. and 3 places sold within 2 days.
Yeah.
And so we've got 9 places left at the moment.
Okay.
So, you know, it's like all these things, those that are meant to be there will be there, but I'd love to have you on that retreat because it's going to be so powerful.
I'm sure it will
There's going to be
be.
a bit of dragon stuff, and there's shamanic breath work. There's going to be all kinds of sort of mix of me and Atlantis. It's going to be it's going to be pretty pokey.
It'll be
So
fun, I'm sure.
it'll be good. Bit of
Yeah,
dragon work, and I'm sure there'll be dragons in there somewhere.
of course.
I don't know. Who knows? We've got a program sort of planned out, but it will evolve in the moment, as these things always do. You know, you've got to have a plan,
Yeah,
but I'm sure it will completely evolve in the moment.
yeah, it's the best
Nicola,
time.
thank you so much for talking to me. Where can people find you? Because you're the Soul Wisdom Academy, am I right?
The Soulful Wisdom Academy, yes. So they can find me on www.soulfulwisdomacademy.com. And I do have a free library, which you'll be able to find there as well, where all of the channelings are and transmissions for the dragons and any talks I've been on as well. But there's other meditations and bits in the library as well that may be helpful to people too.
Fabulous. Facebook?
Yes, just as the Soulful Wisdom Academy.
So all your social media is the Soulful Wisdom Academy.
Yes.
Now, before we finish, I'm sure we could probably go on now for about another 20 minutes. Now the dogs will stop barking. You run women's circles, don't you, as well?
I do, yes.
So is that still going to continue while your Dragon Priestessy course is running as well? Is that still going to run as well? Are you still going to run those? Because they're in person, aren't they?
They are. So yes, I do. I run weekly in person. They run in term time only, just because I've still got a younger one, and some of the ladies that come also have children at school. So I just run them term time at the moment. So that's every Wednesday morning, 10 till 12 in my own healing room. But at the moment, the numbers are quite small because I don't have a huge amount of space. But you know, if it increased, then I could hire somewhere. So it's not really a problem. But yes, they will continue. But part of the priestess course itself will be there will be a monthly live circle where we get to work in the Zoom breakout rooms with one another and actually actively participate on a different theme each month anyway. So, you know, if you're not local to me, then you can access it that way.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Well, if I don't see you before, I will. I'll see you for the tarot course, won't I?
Oh, yes.
So I'll see you in a couple of
Better do
weeks.
my homework.
Yeah, better do your homework. Yeah, tarot course. And well, I know we're going our path, because you're not a million miles away. I know our paths are going to keep crossing. Thank you so much for joining me. So you can find Nicola at the Soulful Wisdom Academy on website and social media, and we'll put all the links below and emails and contacts, all the information that you need. And I will see you in the next podcast. Nicola, thank you, darling.
Thank you so much.